Problem 4 says, write an equation of the line that satisfies the given conditions and circle your final answer. So I think what I want to do first is remember some of the equations of lines that we've learned. So first of all, slope-intercept. Was y equals mx plus b. And we know that m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. We also had point slope form. Which looked like y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So here, m is still the slope, but now it passes through, like the equation of this line, passes through the point. x1, y1. So I'm going to number these so that we can talk about why I'm using each one. For part 1, I'm given that the slope is -4 and the y-intercept is at y equals 2, and I want an equation of this line. You can use either slope-intercept or point slope, but I think for this one is going to be easiest. And that's because I'm given the slope, so m is equal to -4, and b is equal to 2. So my equation, if I just plug it into slope-intercept form, is y equals -4x plus 2. Okay, so let's keep going. I guess if you need more time to think about this, you can just pause the video. So I'm going to keep on scrolling. Part 2 asks us to give the equation of a line with slope -1 or -1/2. But it doesn't give us a y-intercept. It does, however, give us a point that this line passes through. So I'm going to label this point as x0, y0. And I'm going to use 2, which was point slope form. So again, m is -1/2. x0 is -1, and y0 is 0. So I'm just plugging that into point slope form. And when I do that, I get y minus y0, which is 0, equals m, which is -1/2, times x minus x0. But because x0 is a -1, and I'm subtracting -1, that's the same thing as adding 1. So this is my final answer. And of course, you can rewrite this, if this is bothering you, as y equals -1/2 times x plus 1. The same thing. Moving on, I want the equation of a line passing through the points -3, 4, and 1, 2. So here, I'm not given a slope or a y-intercept. I'm just given 2 points. There's 2 ways we can do this. We can find the slope, and also find the y-intercept to use equation 1. Or we can find a slope find the slope and use a point. To use equation 2. I'm lazy, so I think doing this first one, where I find the slope and the y-intercept, that for me that takes longer. So I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to use point slope form. So remember that the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I can label my 2 points here, x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 is 2 minus y1 is minus -3 divided by x1, x2, which is 1, minus, what is going on here? Okay, I got a little bit excited, I think. So, okay, I've got y2 minus y1. y1 is 4. And then x2 is 1 minus x1 is -3. 2 minus 4 is -2. 1 minus -3 is the same thing as 1 plus 3, so that's 4. -2 over 4 is the same thing as -1/2. So this is our slope. So then I'm going to take, either one of these points will work, but I'm going to take the point -3, 4, label that x1, y1, and take m equals -1/2, and plug this into point slope form, which was number 2. When I do that, I get y minus 4 equals -1/2 times x plus 3. And that's my final answer. So we've still got, let's see, we've still got a few more problems here. So I'm going to break